Oh, sorry about that. I had to take care of a few things here. But my point is my point is that miners are not happy with the prices, and they may not sell their bitcoins out to the market. And so what they're going to do to counterbalance the problems at the exchange is they're going to tighten up on the Bitcoin, and you're gonna people are going to find it very harder and harder to get Bitcoins. And what we're going to see is let me see here. I just want to give you an example of what might happen. So so what you're probably going to see is this is localbitcoins.com, and what you're probably going to see is as miners tighten up on their Bitcoin sales, right? Because they think it's just way too low, and they're busy working on the bug fix anyway. Um, you're gonna see probably local Bitcoins. You're gonna probably see this market start to increase in price because it's gonna be harder and harder and harder to get Bitcoins. And so, you know, I'm sure, uh, I'm very sure that Coinbase is going to, if you're in America, I would say Coinbase is a very safe company to work with. They're in America, and so if you need to sell at whatever price that they have listed, that's what they have to do. All right, and it's connected to your bank account, and it's it's probably going to be a safe place to go, unless someone's going to do an American exchange. And if they're not going to do it soon, you're going to see local bitcoins go gangbusters. I've got people already trying to put in orders with me, and I have to tell them, well, you know, it's tight. I can't get your orders filled. Um, unless they're willing to bet, put out a little bit more money, which what the miners might do is they may dictate a higher price to put out to the market because they have the supply, and I have to admit, there is demand. There's a huge demand. The exchanges are not withdrawing. Um, Local bitcoins is kind of like the only market right now that's flowing. And like I said, a peer-to-peer network, you can't stop that. Um, don't know how you can stop it. So let's take a look at Coinbase one more time here, and that's where they are now. And so this is a great app. It's called Zero Block. You've probably seen it on blockchain. And so another great thing is you can use a calculator based on the Coinbase price. So when I work with the miners, that's this is kind of handy to have, to check the prices. And on top of that, it goes from Bitcoin to US dollar and then US dollar to Bitcoin. So very handy. Let's see what else they have here. Since we're on here, this is a really good app. There's not much graphs, anything, but if you need to know the price of something, and so you push there, and it goes to Mt. Gox, and then you push the price, it'll change it to, excuse me, whatever that is, and that's the yen. I think that's the euro, and back to dollars. And so, what other Bitsy as well, and I think Bitsy has a euro and okay, euro and dollar is all they're showing right now. And then what else? And then there's Bitstamp rate, and they got a euro and a dollar. Okay. And then they even got BT Bitcoin China. Of course, that's all it is. Just that what is that, yuan or renminbi or whatever they call it, Chinese money. So they got different things here that you can do. Really good app if you have a smartphone like this. And so, anyways, let's go back to what's going on here. So by the time you see this, listen, I don't the episodes that I make, I try not to put out too early, as these episodes and everything are not meant to sway the markets in any way. It's basically to share my experience and what's going on, and in a way to document, you know, what's happening. I mean, if you see my channel's it's all about you know, first person view, and it's basically uncut, unedited. I may combine the videos, but that's about what I do. I stop the video and then restart it, but I don't do any editing whatsoever. So you're seeing everything how it unfolds as I see it unfolding. And I hope this information helps everyone. So here's the chart again, and this is we could back out, I guess. I'll mainly focus on Bitstamp here, because they are right now the highest priced index at 609. They're almost about to go under 500. So, you know, in some ways, even though Mt. Gox is pretty much not moving around, Mt. Gox was really the leading indicator if you think about it. Mt. Gox, you know, went up high and hit that resistant line, that top resistant line, and then it fell, and it broke through all the stops. So that should have been some indication for some of these other indices. And then, you know, Mt. Gox announced the bug problem, the whatever, that malleability, whatever. And then next thing you know, Bitstamp's having those same issues. And then now all the miners and all the developers are in a flurry to fix that problem. So as much as people complain about Mt. Gox, you know, I don't dispute their problems with Mt. Gox, but you have to admit that Mt. Gox was a leading indicator. All right, I mean, just watch the videos. You know, I mean, if you experienced it, you experienced it. Know that this is true. That Mt. Gox was a leading indicator. So, do I think Mt. Gox has a play in the future of Bitcoin? Yes, I do. And if you want to know, I still have money over there, because I guess I'm still having withdrawal issues, but that's all right. I did put a email to support after they my initial when my Bitcoin didn't go through, my Bitcoin withdrawal. It was only like a 0.1. I was just trying to buy something, and then it didn't go through, and so they finally replied to it. You know, and then by then I already knew what was the issue, but I also replied back saying, well, what about your money withdrawals? And they emailed me back through support and basically said, well, we're working on a bank. So they're still having the money withdrawal issues, but that's all right. Just to let you know, I gave up most of my position to preserve my principal, but I do have Bitcoins there. I have my profited Bitcoins, whatever is left of it. I'm still holding on to those. Basically, you know, those are free Bitcoins to me, so I'm not interested in cashing out. I am interested in cashing out my original principal, all right, but I'm not interested in cashing out the Bitcoins that I've earned. So I think Mt. Gox still has a place in a Bitcoin trade here. So everything, I mean, I would recommend to people, if you want to know what's going on, go take a look at Mt. Gox, okay? Because here's Bitstamp, okay? And then here's BitC, which is falling a lot more as well. It's falling, well, it's not falling, but you know, so Mt. Gox is leading the way in the drop, and BitC and Bitstamp is kind of following everyone else. So this is BitC, and then I kind of screwed up, but let me I'll put in a line over there, because I changed the let me see here, put it right here, and I'll just take it all the way, or the highest. No, this is the highest right there. Yeah. Yep. Okay, there we go. So if you look at Mt. Gox, if it ever breaks out of this down channel, man, I'm going to be buying a lot of Bitcoins because I think, and if they announce that the bug's been fixed, and you're able to withdraw your Bitcoins, I would, it wouldn't be unreasonable that it would then break out of this downward resistant line here and just break out. I'd be, it's hard for me to say that I would buy at this point in time. I would have to see a clear signal in order for me to put a buy order at Mt. Gox. But it's not out of the question whatsoever. So hold on, let me come right back. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. So as soon as Mt. Gox breaks out, you're probably going to see all the other indices do pretty much the same. They're going to probably break out as well. So I'm gonna really be watching Mt. Gox. I'm gonna see what Mt. Gox is gonna do because they really been the leading indicator. All right, they were the first ones to fall, first ones to mention the problems with the whatever glitch. So with that in mind, I mean, if things turn around, I bet you the first thing that's going to turn around is if Mt. Gox turns around, all the other ones are going to turn around as well. So as much as people complain about Mt. Gox, and I don't know if the legend is watching, but apparently the same problem is happening over at Bitstamp. I don't know if there's any money withdrawal problems, but I know Bitcoin withdrawals is something they halted. So not too sure what's going on. So a lot of things are happening, and if you want to know why Bitsy is being sold off, is I talked to my miner, and he was telling me that man, Bitsy always had withdrawal issues. Even Bitsy had withdrawal issues as far as money. That's why this has always been the cheapest. Now that Mt. Gox has stopped both with withdrawal of Bitcoin and money, this is being the cheapest. But I was told that Bitsy has a money withdrawal thing, so that's why it's so cheap. I don't know if Bitstamp is stopping their cash withdrawals, fiat currency withdrawals, but I know they're definitely stopping the Bitcoin withdrawals until whenever. So there you go. That's what's going on. Excuse me, I still got a little cough here. So let's. Whoa, really red, bloody red. So excuse me. If you're long in Bitcoin, you don't really mind this. You don't. This isn't bothering you. If you're long in the U.S. dollar, this is scaring the pants out of you. You're probably crapping right now as you see this. So let's go to this weighted average on Mt. Gox, and you can see it's just kind of been slowly. And this is a 5-day. If I put this on what I've been doing on a 10-day, 2-hour, I guess you can see that. I guess it doesn't matter. Let's just go back to the 5-hour. Or 5-day hourly. So you kind of see what's kind of been going on, and let's actually go for the 2-hour because that way I can see it a little bit better. So go up to the 2-hour and you could kind of see, there you go. So now you could see that on the 2-hour, this is making a lot more sense on the 2-hour. And as you see that these things, the two averages, weighted average, never really cross, and it's acting more of as a resistance. It's got to finish. It's got to go above it. First of all, it's got to cross, and then go above the line, and then finish above it without breaking back down. Or if it does break down, it has to be a bouncing point to go up. But you see, it never really did that. It's just been on slow decline here. And this is Mt. Gox. So let's see what happens if we change it to some of the other indices here. So here's. Now I don't know if I can do this with the with Bitsy because of that huge spike downward. This spike downward right here. But it's kind of really hard to see. Anyways, let me see. There we go. Maybe that ought to help. Kind of. A little bit? Yeah, okay. Let's go for 2 hours. On a 5-day, it's not really helping. How about 2 days? I'm forced to do a 2-day. I can't even see it. But basically, you're seeing the same thing. This is the 25 period average, weighted average, is acting as a resistance, and you can see it's just you know, that's what it's doing. Okay. And then let's see, Bitstamp is probably the last one here. Here's the 5 days on an hourly, and let's do a 2 hour, and it's not as bad. It's not as bad at all. It did cross over here briefly, but went back down, and it's slowly going down. It's actually really starting to maybe accelerate. I'm not sure, but there you go. Same situation. Until this actually crosses over, it's able to finish, and all the other indices are able to do the same. That's probably when it's breaking out of its down channel and maybe ready for an up channel, a correction upwards. Because if you look at this, you know, obviously, as soon as you, if you check back with this, if you see at least the first, well, just if you see the top portion of this here, just like I'm seeing it, if any of these start turning green, that may be an indication of, you know, a buying Bitcoins again. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, so this concludes this episode. I'll just finish off with this, and maybe I'll just take a quick look at what's been going on here. It's this in particular is what you've been seeing, and so it really has to break out of this thing, and then on top of that, it still has other challenges. It has to the next resistance would be somewhere around here. The other one would be around here, and then here. But if it can go here again, I mean, it'll just break out. And if you haven't seen my other episode, previous episode of some of the charts that you could use over at Blockchain, you saw the usage, or I guess so. I guess you've been seeing the usage of Bitcoin, how much Bitcoins are being, you know, transferred. And you notice if you looked at those particular dates of April and then December, you'll see where the spiked and where the price also spiked as well. It's back down to a lower levels, but yet it's only gone down this much. So you're probably going to see more when it spikes up again. You know, imagine it went up to, you know, on Mt. Gox it went to 1200. Could you imagine another spike in transfers, or another spike in usage, that it's going to go up to even more? I don't know. That's just my opinion. But anyways, that concludes this episode. I'll go back to the 2 hours so you kind of can see. Until then, I guess feel free to comment, like, dislike, or even do a video response. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye.